Okay, so today is Saturday, July 20th, 2024. Today I went to the thrift shops in Modesto on McHenry. Two different thrift shops. One of them was just $1 a record, which I bought over 105 records. The other one, the manager there, they go on eBay. But I never see this stuff out of the thrift shop, so I paid $90 for these three records. But they were about 35 each, and I felt like that was fair from what I'd seen on Discogs for very good condition. And we've got the Beatles, Hard Day's Night, Parlophone, so it's a British import. It is an earlier jacket because of it has the overlap right there. And then the earlier ones, it says use Emitex cleaning material. And then I think it's got some store stamps from the retailer. Does it have an original sleeve? It does not have original sleeve. This is a mono copy of A Hard Day's Night. But I don't think it's an early pressing. It says 1964. KEX-482. So I got that. I paid $35 for that. At Priceless Treasures in Modesto. Stereo copy of the Help album, also Parlophone, an earlier record with the Use Emitex record cleaner stamp right there, and a fold over here. And it's in pretty good condition, no scratches. It was, oh, this one does have the original inner sleeve, the EMI sleeve. And then recommendations for other, I like that when they have the original inner sleeve. The other one just has a white sleeve. This one, they let me get it for $15. Ringo Starr, Goodnight Vienna. Probably overpaid for that one, but it's super clean. Okay, now we're getting into the dollar records from the other thrift shop that I went to. A lot of these, I have no idea who the bands are. If the jacket looked interesting, I picked it up, and I'm researching as we go. And a lot of them I do know who they are. We got the Pretenders' second album. This one is Sire. I would say it's in good condition. I do see some scratches on this one, but not bad. It'll play without skipping. You'll just hear some ticks. They had two copies of this. I just picked up one copy. It has its original pricing label. Rod's Records. It was $4.99 used from San Carlos, California. Bob James, The Genie. Themes and variation from the TV series Taxi. And it has the TV show Taxi soundtrack intro song there. And then, of course, you have all the characters from the television program in the back. I love compilations. I love best ofs. The Dave Clark 5 Greatest Hits. This is a 70s release. Or maybe it's a 60s release because if it's the Epic label is yellow in the 60s. I think it's orange in the 70s. Gary Rafferty, City to City. Great 70s album. There's one skip on the first song. I did listen to it. And then there's a little bit of a crinkle right there. Looks like it got wet at some point, but you know, you just don't find this type of stuff at the thrift shop anymore. Billy Ocean, Suddenly. This looks like near mint condition. Quicksilver Messenger Service's second album. It was a live album recorded at the Fillmore. This is an early pressing because of it's got the Capitol Rainbow record label. This one, does it have an inner sleeve? It does, but it's not an original Capitol sleeve. Bob Dylan, Street Legal. Never listened to this album. And now we're getting into stuff that it looked interesting. I liked the jacket. If I'm Lucky, Zoot Zims meets Jimmy Rolls. It was hardly played. Roseanne Cash, King's Record Shop. Very 80s. Pretty good, though. I listened to a few tracks. This record was in poor condition, but I bought it anyway just because I've always wanted to own this record. Wooly Bully, Sam, Sham, and the Pharaohs. It's a lot of skips, A lot of distortion, lots of playtime there. This is a party record for sure, and there's a huge gouge across the front, but you know what? I didn't care. It was $1 and I wanted to own it. This one too, I would also say is poor, but still playable with a lot of distortion. Junior Walker and the All-Stars. Home cooking. Jan and Dean, Surf City. This is on Liberty Records. I would say it's good plus. The jacket's got some damage right there, but no splits. They had 2 copies of this. I bought the better, cleaner copy of the 2. Mott the Hoople, All the Young Dudes. And I have heard of this album. There was the other copy, this border was black and not brown, so there was album variations, but I bought the cleaner of the 2. And again, these were all $1 from the other thrift shop that I went to. Promotional copy only, not for sale. This was actually a very good album. I listened to the first side. Apothecary. Never heard of them. Very 70s, early 70s. Love that jacket. This is a Canadian band. I listened to the first track. It was an okay. Wireless. Never heard of them. Had to look them up. It's on Mercury Records. This is a British band. It was called an art rock band. This is a gatefold copy. Audience, The House on the Hill. Never heard of them. It was okay. I listened to the first side. Then we got a Rod Stewart album here. Never heard of this. I've never listened to this album. Obviously, I know who Stewart is. Smiler, gatefold. Like the tartan. This was pretty good. Bobby Whitlock, Raw Velvet. Listen to the first track. Eric Clapton is on the first track. Oh man, this is going to be a long video. If you stick around for it, props to you. If you just want to see what I picked up for $1 a piece. Kool and the Gang, Celebrate. This thing looks like it was hardly ever played. It still has the cellophane on it. Ray Charles, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music. Just a cool cover. Jazz Gun, Shelly Manne and His Men. This was originally purchased used at Rasputin's in Modesto for $2.95. And it looks like someone originally bought this on 12/21/1970. They made a note there in their former owner's name. Looks good. Again, I bought a lot of these just because of the cover was cool. I don't know a lot about this jazz or... I don't know. Mingus, Me, Myself, and I. I is spelled E-Y-E. I'm assuming this is another jazz album. Woody Shaw, For Sure. Like that. I'm guessing it's more jazz. Wes Montgomery, Going Out of My Head. And it is a gatefold copy. Lots of liner notes. Humble Pie, Performance, Rockin' the Fillmore. And this is a gatefold copy. This is a backup copy because I already have this. Best of the Bee Gees. They're earlier. I like this era of the Bee Gees better, actually. Billy Coben, recorded live in Europe. Shabazz. This was purchased for $2 at Rasputin's as well back in the day. Used. So someone locally spent a lot of money buying records at Rasputin's because a lot of them have Rasputin's. Billy Coben, Total Eclipse, another used record purchased at Rasputin's World of Music. Originally, it was on Dale next to Trader Joe's. Blows Against the Empire. Paul Katner. And this is a gatefold. Very cool. Charlie Daniels Band, Fire on the Mountain. Another gatefold. The Jay Giles Band, Bloodshot. Look at those dudes. Pretty sure I have this on CD, but you know what? It was too clean not to pick up. Paul Simon's Greatest Hits, gatefold with lyrics. And this is one of my favorite albums of all time. And I first discovered this album because of a track off this album appears in one of my favorite movies of all time, Taxi Driver. Jackson Browne, Late for the Sky. One of my favorite albums of the 70s for sure. And I do have a copy of this, but it's a lot cleaner than the copy that I have, because I've had that copy for over 15 years. Joe Cocker, self-titled, gatefold. The Blues Project, Live at Town Hall, another venue jazz album. This is a second copy for me, but this one's cleaner than the copy that I have. The Rascals, Once Upon a Dream, 1968. Gatefold with booklet. So that's cool. Look at that. Very cool. The other copy that I have does not have that still. Moody Blues, In Search of the Lost Chord. Gatefold. Little Hall & Oates for you Hall & Oates fans. H2O. Don't know anything about this record. John Fahey, Leo Kottke, and Peter Lang. Don't know anything about it. It was purchased at a Goodwill for $1 back in the day. Another Hall & Oates. Big Baboom. Very cool, very 80s. And this is going into my collection. No reselling here. Uriah Heep live, January of 1973. Dang it, slipped out of my hands. Gatefold. Don't know anything about this one. Automatic Man. No clue. You tell me. Am I picking up some undiscovered gold that I didn't know about? Probably. I don't know. This one's weird, but I bought it just for the jacket. Don't know the genre. Can't really figure it out. Probably jazz. Well, no, they got a banjo in there. Lemon. No other information. Aria Productions, 1978. Don't recognize any of the names. Recorded at the House of Music in West Orange, New Jersey. Interesting. West Orange, New Jersey, I've been there. The Thomas Edison Laboratory and Estate is in West Orange, New Jersey. If you're in New Jersey, I highly recommend to visit. It's very cool. This one, sadly, after I cleaned it, it has a crack, and it is a gatefold. Spirit, 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. Looked cool. Tell me about it. Educate me, folks. Is it good? I don't know. Never heard of them. This is a very cool jacket. Beck. Joe Beck. I'm guessing it's some sort of jazz. Guitar and bass and drums. Percussions, alto saxophone and violin and cello. Bohannon, Insides Out. I'm guessing this is some sort of jazz as well. I think this is jazz too. Phil Woods and Lou Tabkin. This was purchased at Amoeba for $3. Oh, it says Original Jazz Sound right there. The Ohio Players with a very sexually suggestive cover. Got a naked lady and a horse. That's all that I don't want to get it censored. So, there you go. Ohio Players. Well, let's take a look what these guys look like. Where does it show them? There's the Ohio Players. Okay. We still got a lot to cover, folks. This is going to be a really long video, like I said earlier. Pete Townsend, Empty Glass. Don't have any of his solo stuff, only The Who. I'm going to be 37 years old next month. I've been collecting since I was 12. So, a lot of years in there. My room that I have my records in is just, with this, I can't even house them in there. I'm out of room, officially out of room. This just looked like a cool jacket. Claire Fisher, Easy Livin'. Someone originally paid $12 for this used. Don't know anything about it. Probably some sort of folk music. Irish traditionals? Yeah, probably folk music. Ooh, Dave Brubeck. Oh, he's covering a Dave Brubeck song. This one looked like it had never been played. The jacket has got a lot of ring wear. Someone paid $5 for it used. Phil Ox in concert. Don't know who he is. Have no clue. Didn't research any of this stuff. I just bought what looked interesting because there was too many vultures circling, and I grabbed as much as I could. Stanley Clarke, self-titled. Don't know who he is. Just like the cover. I think it's jazz. Humble Pie, Smokin'. Don't know who these guys are. I think they're British. A&M Records. Okay. I'm looking for comments, folks. Educate me. Wishbone, Ash, New England. Have no clue who these guys are. Is it a hidden gem? I don't know. I'll have to try it out. Gonna Take a Miracle, Laura Nero and LaBelle. This came out in the early 70s. It looks much more 90s. This jacket cover just looks very 90s to me. Someone paid $6 for this used at Rasputin's back in the day. Jesse Winchester, third down, 110 to go. Gatefold. Is it good? I don't know. Never heard of it. The Allman Brothers, Enlightened Rouge, or Rogues. Enlightened Rogues. Gatefold. There was another Allman Brothers record there, but it just had a lot of scratches. And it was also a gatefold, but it was a compilation. This is a classic album that should be in every collection if you're into 80s stuff. Asia. Another Mott the Hoople. Self-titled. Sadly, this has some writing on the front of it. Someone's last name. The Monkees Headquarters. Very clean copy, though. Kraken, Making of a Dream. You tell me, I don't know. It just looked interesting. Oh man, I still have so many to go through, folks. Scratch the Crusaders, recorded live at the Roxy. Again, another, I don't know. It just looked cool. Tommy Bolin, Private Eyes. Looked interesting. Looked like a cool cover. There's a naked lady on the back, which we will not show. Ronnie Laws, Friends and Strangers. Looked cool. There's old Ronnie. Love that 70s collar. My favorite style of collar. Richard Betts, Highway Call. This guy just looks awesome. Look at that guy. Here's another one where I have no clue. Barclay James, Harvest, Gone to Earth. Just looked like a cool album cover. And they look like a cool group of 70s rock and rollers too. So we'll give that one a whirl. Get it on the list of things to listen to. Uriah Heep, Sweet Freedom, Gatefold. They had that cataloged in their system. whatever system they used. Here's another one. I have no clue. Frank and Marino Mahogany Rush World Anthem. Don't know who these guys are. The Two Sides of Hampton Hawes. Very cool jazz. There's his two sides. Lots of liner notes. Will I have time to read them? Unlikely. We Shall Overcome, Pete Seeger, the famous Carnegie Hall concert, June 8th, 1963. And this is the Cat Eyes, so it's an early pressing. I don't even know if they did a reissue of this. 2 Cat Eyes only, though. Actually, this isn't the Cat Eyes. The Cat Eyes has 3 Columbia logos, I think, on each side. But it's still an earlier copy because of the red label. With the white writing instead of yellow. Synergy, Electronic Realizations for the Rock Orchestra. This looks like a cool record. Passport Records, 1975. Savoy Brown, Hellbound Train, with some very evil-looking drawings. And it looks like an R. Crumb style of comic book on the inside. But I could not... Oh, David Anstey? Yeah, there's some... Don't know who these guys are. It just looked cool, so it came home with me. Warren Zevon, Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School. I know the Excitable Boy album. That's about it. This one is still in the shrink wrap, never been opened. Bruce Hornsby and the Range contains the hits The Valley Road, I Will Walk With You, and Look Out Any Window. Scenes from the South Side. Still in the shrink wrap, folks. Never been opened. Procol Harum, Grand Hotel. Gatefold. Chrysalis Records. So this is some of their later stuff. I'm only familiar with Wider Shade of Pale. The Del Fuegos, Boston, Mass. Don't know anything about it. It said it was garage rock, and I like garage rock, so it came home with me. Another Del Fuegos album. The Del Fuegos, The Longest Day. Looks very 80s. Looks interesting. I'll give it a whirl. Never heard of them. Jimmy Smith, Respect on Venue, so I'm assuming it's another jazz album. This one was not in great condition, but for $1, I'll give it a whirl. Look at him doing that karate with that keyboard. Man, this is going to be a half-hour video. Canned Heat, Hallelujah. I think these guys played Woodstock. Liberty Records. Gatefold. We'll give it a whirl. Never listened to them. James Gang. I remember discovering the James Gang in high school. This record is called Thirds. It's damaged, sadly. Someone paid 50 cents on a closeout sale at Rasputin's. The Doobie Brothers. Taking it to the streets. And it's got a few scratches, but it looks playable. This is from an era when records... Oh, yeah, there's some bad scratches there, but whatever. The record was playable, so that's all that I care about. Rod Stewart, Tonight I'm Yours, and it still has remnants of the Tower Records price tag right there. And then someone bought it for $1 used at Rasputin's later on. Featuring the hit single Young Turks. Rod Stewart. The Butterfield Blues Band, Keep on Moving. I've always heard of them. I might even have some... Ooh, that's an earlier Elektra label. Another Bruce Hornsby, And the Range, The Way It Is. This is the second album for me. Wednesday Morning, 3 a.m., Simon Garfunkel. I have every one of their albums. But this one was too clean to pass up, and it's an earlier copy. Another Monkees on Cold Gems. More of the Monkees. This one was very clean. I would say, well, now that I'm looking at it, I would say it's in good condition, but not anything very good. Plus, a European import of Frank Sinatra, Close to You. It almost looks like a bootleg, and the jacket is just like those Beatles albums from the UK where it's got the flap and it's just incredibly flimsy. But the record is so clean. And it's got like a very glossy finish. That's how the European records are from that era. And it says use Ematex cleaner just like the Beatles ones did. Man, I'm getting tired. If you're still with me, thank you very much. Richie Havens Alarm Clock. Don't know anything about it. Got a Nancy Sinatra album. Nancy. Oof, Nancy Sinatra in her prime. Nancy Sinatra, Country My Way. Oof, Nancy. We're getting to the end. Randy Newman Live. Originally purchased used for $3.95 at Rasputin's World of Music. The Best of the Tramps. 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 Don't know. Disco Inferno. So there you go. It's disco. The last of the Monkees album, the Monkees self-titled. So now we have all the Monkees albums, all in very playable condition. Hawaii Five-0 soundtrack by The Ventures. Boz Scaggs The Hits. And this is my second copy, but it's cleaner than the one that I have prior. Honky Chateau, Elton John. It's got the back flap. And this is the Universal American release. I believe the Elton John original releases in England were on Dick James Records. Bill Wyman, Stone Alone, solo album. But it's still on the Rolling Stones label. Man, I spent almost $200 on records in the last week. The Main Ingredient Hits. Everybody Plays the Fool is the one that I recognize. This one, I would say the jacket is poor. It's got a lot of ring wear, and the record, I would say, is also poor. But you know what? We'll try it out. The Undisputed Truth, Method to the Madness. This jacket just these guys look awesome. I hope the record is as good as the jacket is. Oscar Peterson, Action. I'm guessing another jazz album, judging by the information on the back of the jacket. Get Ready, King Curtis. You tell me. Probably jazz because he's playing a saxophone. But it's an Atco, so maybe it's soul. I don't know. Jack Bruce of Cream, Songs for a Tailor. Lots of ring wear here. It's Atco, probably just like Cream. Late 60s Atco. More Jay Giles Band. Live, Full House. Last two here. George Coleman. I'm guessing it's jazz. This one, it was never been opened. Mickey Newberry, Frisco Mabel Joy. Don't know who he is. Thank you for watching, folks. $200 worth of records dissected. Until next time, we'll see you then. You stuck with me.